Hi and welcome. For this video, what I want to be doing is I'm going to talk a little bit about the Microsoft Management Console. This tool is a console that's designed to help computer administrators solve different problems, and contains useful things like Event Viewer, Disk Management, and services. Two of the things I'm going to do in this video is talk about kind of an intro to the MMC console, and I want to go in and manage some of the services that are there and do an example on that. The programs that I'm going to be using to record this video are Cam Studio. It's a free program that allows me to record whatever I'm doing with my desktop. And normally I would be using VMware Workstation, which is a kind of a fake virtual environment that allows me to install operating systems without taking up hard drive resources. I've been having some problems with that recently. Every time I decide to start Windows 7 within VMware, it decides to freeze my computer. And hopefully this issue gets resolved. I did recently buy a laptop with Windows 7 on it for school. I haven't finished installing the important updates and backing up my computer, so when that's done, hopefully my future videos will be taken care of. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this on Windows 7 is because Windows XP is slowly not being supported by Microsoft, and generally people are moving towards the direction of Windows 7. To get started, first off, there's two different ways to open the MMC console. This is going to be on Vista, so it's going to be a little bit different. So first, we're going to hit the Start button, go to Control Panel. And on Windows Vista, it's if you're in the Control Panel Home, the large icons allows you to see different categories. If you do the classic view, it gives you a list of everything. So for the purpose of this video, I'll just do the Control Panel Home. And on Vista, it's System Maintenance, but on Windows 7, it's actually System and Management, I think. System and Security. There we go. So I'll go ahead and click that. And then we can go down to Administrative Tools, and then double click on Computer Management, and go ahead and click Continue. So over here in the left pane, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to expand this just as an Applications tab, right here. And then I can click on Services, and these are some of the services that are come standard with different operating systems like Vista or Windows XP. Later on, I'll cover what a service is and how to manage different services there. And then the second way to open up the Management Console, I'll go ahead and close all this, is I can click Start, and I should be able to right click on Computer and click Manage. And this allows us to do the same thing as going through the control panel. And that's basically how you access the MMC or the Microsoft Management Console. And then I'm going to get to a little bit more depth on what a service is. A service is basically an application that runs in the background without user interaction. And what they usually do is perform tasks for other software apps or perform housekeeping to Windows. One example of this is the DHCP client. And then from here, what we can do is go back into our MMC console, and we can double click on services. Let's see. Double click on services. And then here's our services right here, so you can double click that. And again, that's the list of services that I mentioned before. And we can click the computer browser service, which is right here. And you expand these by moving them over like this. I'll double click the computer browser, And right here on the left hand side right here, it gives you a description of what this service is and what it does, which generally helps you decide if it's a legitimate program. A lot of times if you have malware or spyware, in the task manager you'll see processes that you aren't familiar with. So from here what we're going to do is that brings up the extended view, and then we can click the standard tab or the general tab. I think it's the general tab on Windows Vista, or no, where is that? Here it is right here, sorry. We can click the standard tab, and doing that it removes the service description like I was talking about on the left hand side of the console. And one of the things you can do for the Microsoft Management Console is stop, restart, and pause different services. For this I'll use the example of a DHCP client. We can right click on this and go to restart. And what that does is it starts and stops the DHCP client service. One of the reasons you want to do this is sometimes it's necessary to stop and start the service if it's not functioning properly, or if it freezes up. And then from here, if you will click the DHCP client, we can go to the general tab. What that does is it shows the same information as the description on the window that I showed before. It also shows the executable file that runs as a sys, which is this right here. That's the path to the exe file. We can click the logon tab, and what that does is if a service is configured to run as a particular user account, to limit its permissions, and the credentials are entered here. The recover tab, what you can do here, well, this basically contains settings for actions to be taken if the service fails more than once. And then as you can see here, it's no, the first failure restarts, the second failure restarts, and then if it fails more than twice, it doesn't really do anything. But we can click the drop down button and do different things like restarting the computer and restarting the service. And then the recover, we're on the dependencies tab. Shows all the different services that are required to go along with it to help it run properly. So some of the things used here are this driver for WinSock, the NetIO legacy support driver, and then we can go ahead and close this. And that concludes my video. Once again, this was an introduction to getting started with MMC and how to stop and restart services. MMC is a really cool program to use. Once again, as a computer administrator, you're going to be using this a lot. It helps diagnose different issues, and I really like the idea that you can configure what happens if the service, if a service stops more than twice. So that's one of the really cool things that I took away from doing this activity. I hope you guys enjoyed my video and learned something from it. Thank you.